Welcome to another Top 5 here at MacGuffinPodcast.com. I am Brandi.
And I'm Alan.
And today, for the release of the new film Moneyball, we're going to be talking our Top 5 Brad Pitt films.
Brad Pitt, probably one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
Yes.
Very interesting career. For me, I think Brad Pitt, as of recently, his films that he put out now are really, really good. You know, not just the big, like, blockbuster type stuff, but a lot of more artsy things, you know. So, you know, lots of diversity. So
I'll say that I mostly went with films where his performance is, like, my favorite part of it. Because there are other films that he's in smaller parts that are probably more my favorites. But I went with, like, Brad Pitt's at the center kind of type, mostly.
Okay.
You'll see. All right, you want to start?
Sure. My number 5 film came out in 1955.
55?
1995. Sorry. Directed by Terry Gilliam. It is 12 Monkeys.
Okay.
All right. So, film, you know, it's about, like you said, Brad Pitt is not really the center of the film. It's more Bruce Willis, but Brad Pitt really stands out in his performance in this movie.
I agree with that.
As this sort of like crazy, like psychotic / like environmentalist / something else, you know.
It's hard to describe unless it's within the context of the film, right?
Definitely one of the first films where you see Brad Pitt as not just like this pretty boy actor, but a guy who can like really inhabit a role. I mean, the film, you could say whatever you want about the film, but I think Brad Pitt in it is really, really good and pretty much shows what he can do for like the rest of his career.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this film, but I do like his performance in it, so I'll give you that.
It's definitely good. Yeah, crazy eyes and everything.
Okay, my number 5 is one where I liked the movie, but I never like really need to see it again, but I really was impressed by Brad Pitt's performance in it. From 2008, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I wish I had liked this movie more than I did. It just felt, you know, kind of long. Here's a story, la la la. I'm not a big fan of, like, let me tell you a tale, kitties kind of things. But I thought he was great in what is gotta be kind of hard to capture. You know, my body's frail, but my mind is young, and then goes, you know, then you reach equilibrium, and I don't know. I loved the sort of sadness that he brought to it without making it totally maudlin and melancholy all the time. Just a little bit of that, and I thought he was great in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been said before, if you've seen Forrest Gump, then you've probably you've seen this film in a way. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I thought it was okay, but I don't think I'd ever want to see it again. I just didn't really buy into the relationship between Brad Pitt's character and, what is it, Cate Blanchett's character.
Yeah, I was more interested in him with Tilda Swinton, and then she was just gone.
Yeah, I don't know, like the older guy, the younger girl, and then the young boy and the old woman. It was just kind of weird. I don't know if I can really like get into all that, but yeah. So, but the performance was good.
Yeah.
Speaking of another good performance, my number 4 film is from 2007. I said before, I'll say it again. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford is a film people should definitely check out. I think it has one of Brad Pitt's most underrated performances in it. I mean, very restrained, kind of a quiet performance here, playing this guy who's like a myth, you know, like this robber. And, you know, he doesn't like emote a lot, but he shows off this kind of paranoia, like, you know, his world is slowly coming closer and closer together, and he doesn't know who to trust and everything like that. You know, you know, you put that with great performances, but with Casey Affleck and Sam Rockwell, and I mean, it's just a great movie. So please, people, check it out. It's a good one.
I knew you'd have this on your list. It's good stuff.
I'm predictable.
All right, my number 4 is one of the movies that kind of made Brad Pitt as he was climbing his way through the early 90s, and that is A River Runs Through It.
Okay.
I really like this movie, even though it's like a total boy movie, and usually I'm like, oh, okay. Boy movies, you. But it's gorgeous to look at, and Brad Pitt this is where you kind of start to get the Brad Pitt thing, and it's the perfect role to do that because the character Paul McLean is kind of an enigma throughout the film, you know, and it has to rest on chemistry and just there has to be an appealing something about the actor himself because the character you never really get a handle on.
Right.
And I think Brad Pitt totally captures that and really like you start to understand why he's such a big star.
Okay, cool. I have not seen this film, unfortunately.
Alan, it's
I'm sorry,
so nice.
but since you said it's a total guy movie, I will check it out.
Yeah.
All right.
If you love your dad, you should totally watch River Runs Through It.
I love my dad, so I guess I better watch that movie. Sorry, Dad. Moving on to my number 3 film. My number 3 film is from 2009. It is Inglourious Bastards. I think with this performance, Brad Pitt was totally just having the time of his life. I think he was just having so much fun with his character. This sort of like over-the-top caricature with the mustache and the heavy accent and just totally like playing around with the Quentin Tarantino dialogue. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, we've talked about the film before.
Yes.
Just super cool, super fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what else to say about this movie, you know?
Well, maybe I'll have something else to say a little later on.
Hey, hello.
My number 3, film from 2001. Brad Pitt is part of an ensemble in Ocean's 11, playing Rusty Ryan. I just get joy out of this performance, you know? It's so fun to watch, and I think that's really a hallmark of Brad Pitt is that he's just fun to watch. And, you know, same deal with George Clooney, and then you get him in a room together, and it's just multiplied to factor X, and that's, you know, the greatest thing about Ocean's 11. So... I don't know, the charm, like I can't even believe that someone can turn on that much charm and not come off obnoxious. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah. I mean, that film is totally about the charisma of everyone that's a part of it. I mean, Brad Pitt, what he does mostly in that film is just talk and eat snacks. I mean, that's all he does in that movie. He's just like, yeah, let's plan this hard. Yeah, but it's like so much fun like to watch him perform. It's crazy. If you like that film, I suggest you don't watch the next 2 because those 2 films are not very good, but first one was.
I haven't watched the next 2, actually.
Good for you.
I'm keeping it pure.
Sweet. Okay, my number 2 film, speaking of ensembles, is from 2000, written and directed by Guy Ritchie. It is Snatch. When you think about, like, fighting and Brad Pitt, the first film would probably be Fight Club. I think Snatch is a way better film than Fight Club. Yeah, you and I have
made our feelings on Fight Club known.
Brad Pitt as this, like, pikey, like, gypsy, again, with another accent that you can barely understand a word he's saying. And he, like, he's in this, like, crazy plot involving, like, money and diamonds and bare-knuckle boxing, and he seems to be like one of those characters where you think you can get a handle on him, but really he has his own thing going on, and he's a lot smarter than he looks in that movie. I mean, just a hardcore, like, I'm gonna beat you up with one punch kind of a performance inside of a very, like, muscular, aggressive film. It's super cool, super
it's a
awesome.
Fun movie.
So.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, okay.
My number 2, another one where it's really important to have an actor that's going to throw himself into this and just make it work. 2008, Burn After Reading. I thought this was kind of an underrated film. I really liked it. And one of my favorite things about it was Brad Pitt's performance as the character Chad Feldheimer, which is like, you already know everything you need to know about the character from that name. And he's just, you know, he knows what he wants. He's going to go after it. And he's a little bit off his rocker and how he's going to get it. And watching him and Frances McDormand together is just a pleasure.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of, like,
I knew I wasn't gonna get a lot of enthusiasm on this one, but I stick up for it.
I mean, when you think of, like, great Coen brother films, Burn After Reading, I don't think would be in the
Great
conversation.
Coen Brothers films starring Brad Pitt.
Starring Brad Pitt, because that's the only one. I mean, it's okay, you know. I mean, I didn't hate it, but it's one of those films that didn't resonate with me.
I think I liked this movie more than like anyone else on the planet. So,
Hey, you know,
I really liked it.
everyone has their own kind of taste. So, moving on to my number one film.
Was that like a drum roll?
Yeah, it was my drum roll.
Okay.
From 1995, I feel this is one of Brad Pitt's best films. I think this is one of David Fincher's best films. It is Seven. I mean, just, I don't know what else to say. This is like one of those great mysteries. You have Brad Pitt as this sort of like up and coming detective, totally like arrogant and cocky. Compare that to Morgan Freeman, who's been around the game for a long time, and he's, you know, it's his last job, and
Of course
just
it's
they're
his last
clashed
job.
together. You know, they're butting heads. Kevin Spacey is John Doe, one of the craziest villains, one of the most unique villains in the way he commits his murders and kind of entraps everyone into it. Man, look at that look.
No,
Look at that look. Okay, what do you have to say about Seven?
No, nothing.
Nothing? Don't even like it. You know, the performance that Brad Pitt gives is
I don't
great.
understand why people like Seven so much.
The cinematography is on point. I mean,
How am I gonna go into why I don't like Seven? We don't have time for that, but I would be willing to watch it again and give it another chance. But
you're going to watch it right now. People, you agree with me, right?
No, I don't get it. But that's okay.
That is okay.
But I know we can agree on my number one, which, yes, is a movie we have talked about before, and a movie that brings me just a feeling of absolute pleasure in cinema, and that is Inglourious Bastards.
Yes.
Probably my favorite Quentin Tarantino film.
Ooh.
It keeps climbing the ranks. The more I think about it, the more I love it. And I love Brad Pitt in it. I mean, he might not even be my favorite part. He isn't my favorite part of the movie, I already know, because Melanie Laurent is just so kick-ass.
Right.
But he is an integral part of the way the film works. And I think he does a great job.
He's awesome. I mean, he has so many, like, he's part of so many classic moments in that movie. I mean, the way he kind of, like, pretends to be an Italian with the Bargiorno and everything like that.
It shouldn't work, but somehow it does. And part of it is that insane charm that just makes everything he does on film work. Like, I don't know. He sold Soul of the Devil or something.
Exactly.
But
he's doing something, so.
He's a bona fide movie star.
He is, most definitely.
All right. That has been another Top 5 here at MacGuffinPodcast.com. You can see many, many more and read articles and read Alan's review of Moneyball that will be coming out.
Yay.
So check out the site, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.